Hey, what's up guys? Rales here, Captain Sandpaper. Now, we're gonna do a little update to the previous video, which I'm gonna include in this video. Since that video, which was made in April, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of new stuff, a lot of nerfs, a lot of stuff that you shouldn't be using, that we were using back then. We're gonna start off with the weapons. Right now, the assault rifle has become pure shit. It just got nerfed to shit, like a League of Legends champion, Evelyn. That's what the assault rifle is. I'm sure many of you can relate. So what you got now is you got his big daddy, Big Papa, heavy assault rifle taking over. Now, as I've said before, the most optimal build for any gun, if you're a good accuracy player, is to go pure damage and not worry about any other stat. It's all about the damage, because a good player that has good accuracy and good aim could just tap 2-3 times really fast and get that 250 damage out in a split second without any recoil affecting it. That's what a good player does, That's what differentiates the noobs from the ha. Okay, exactly. I don't know what that meant or was supposed to mean, but I think it's funny. Anyways, but what if you are the newbie, right? And you're not the better player or the good player or the professional player? What do you want to do? What if you're a beginner and you came from Counter-Strike Source and this game's a little weird and like, holy shit, fucking futuristic see-through walls. By the way, Black Ops copied Blacklight Retribution, guarantee 100%. And it's even shitty. You could see non-stop through a scope. Imagine seeing people through a scope non-stop. HRV scope, mad gay, and takes the fun out of the game. Now, as I was saying before, I got a little sidetracked there. If you're a bad player, what you want to do is you want to go for pure not damage. It is a huge damage knockout. You're gonna go down to like around 60-ish, 61, 62, 3 damage, but you're gonna get your recoil right here down. You're gonna get your spread hip and spread aim down, and max and minimum, of course, and you'll be able to spray like you did in Counter-Strike Source 1.6 and AVA and all these other shitty ass games that nobody plays anymore. But if you do decide to do that, remember, go into your game settings and enable the static crosshair. Why? Because the static crosshair is your best friend. It's like having Counter-Strike, any Counter-Strike game actually, crosshair in Blacklight. It doesn't move and it doesn't apply the spread aim and all this crazy shenanigans into this bullshit. So you'll be able to aim a lot better, a lot more efficiently, and feel like you're right at home. And just, unless you press V and then you get sidetracked. And I found myself pressing, when I press V, which is the HRV by the way, for anybody that doesn't know. Tip number 3, press V for HRV. DTD if you don't do it. Okay, I was gonna go and rhyme a little more, but it doesn't work out. What also differentiates the good from the bad is how well you can time your HRV and how well you can control it. I tend to sometimes HRV around the corner, and the second I HRV, I'd walk out dead. I hope you guys heard that. That was pretty cool. It sounded really cool in real life. And I'd be dead, and I'd be pissed off, like, oh shit, I should have waited, So what you gotta do is you gotta memory map. You gotta HRV really fast, tap it, tap out, and just run by and just try to remember where you saw everyone and the direction they were facing. It's just part of life and how it's supposed to be. If you want to be a better player, you gotta apply that to your tactic. Now we're gonna move on to the gear and customization. Gear, gear hasn't changed much. You do what you want to do. Just make sure you have the heroin injector for the lols. You could poison people, or you could heal yourself. You could get high. Oh. Gear wise, there's a second major balance patch that came out a while back, but it was after my first part of the tips and tricks. So basically what you want to do now is build medium health, just basically medium, right down the line, a little bit of everything, but you want to have above 228 to 232 health. Between that range, you want to have that range of HP. Why? Because you're not going to get 3-shotted, you're going to get 4-shotted. What does 4-shotting mean? 3-shotting, it means you have that 1 second of lag that could kick in any minute, and that last bullet's going to get averted, and you're going to win and survive and become the ultimate fucking Pokemon master. Alright guys, so what you want to do with grenades is you want to cook them a little bit. This kind of became a instinctual part in me when I play is I tend to hold the grenade for 1, 2, and then I throw it. Now this works anyway. This works for anything, any type of grenade. And you know, it gives me that time while I'm holding the grenade to do a 360 or some kind of attempt a trick shot, and you know, and be successful. And you know, it really does work. It works with anything that you throw. Look, 1, 2, 3. And then finish him off. I was getting ready to finish him off. There I failed, because the wall was there. But basically that's what you want to do with grenades. The most optimal thing to do, the best thing to do. Alright, now we're going to begin another thing that's very important. We got a little spectator over here with the X, you can shoot if you want. Is aiming. An accurate player taps like this, and he could tap really fast. So you would tap 1, 2, 3, that's 3 shots times 250 something damage that I may have. Like that. Dies instantly. He's no iron guy, he just got tapped to death. No homo. Now, that's what you want to do, is you want to tap. And as you notice, your recoil goes up when you tap. And what you do is you move back. When you move back when you tap, your recoil goes down. As you can see, it's not going up. That's because I'm moving back. When you move forward, your recoil goes up even faster. So you want to be very mindful of these things. You always want to move back when you're shooting, unless you're walking at someone. Then when you walk at someone, you want to have your head down like that, and so your recoil automatically goes up. Instinctually, it would go up. Alright, next thing you want to do is mine and blackout. I'm very broke at the moment when it comes to GP, and I can't afford it. But what you would do is you'd go to a very a choke point. That's what we call it. You'd go into a choke point. Say this is pretty much a choke point, not all the time, but in capture the flag, this is a choke point. You'd place the decoy. Well, not decoy, but the blackout. Yeah, there we go. You place the blackout up here in that corner, and you place the mine somewhere right here. And when they HRV, they won't see the mine. That way, you could use that to your advantage. Like right now, if I had a not proximity mine, if I had a blackout there, most of them would have been dead, because they were both HRVing, so they saw the mine, so they moved away. That's something you don't want to do. You always want, you know, the advantage over your team, enemy team. Remember what I told you with grenades? Tap it, hold it, throw it. Tap, hold, throw. Here we go. Another very useful trick that you could use, that is very useful against extremely good knifers like, say, Freaky, is when they're coming at you, about to knife you, you step back and you jump. Make sure you jump. Why do you make sure you jump? Because when you jump, it cancels out his knife, and you don't take any damage, and he has to re-knife. And sometimes it cancels out the lunge. That is extremely crucial, very important to do. You know, that's how I usually win against Freaky. Not always, because he can catch you off guard. He's a very talented and skilled knifer. Now, another really good tip I could give you, which will be one of the better ones, default gear is the best. It's already been established within most of the community. You know, tapping, remember, look at that, you tap, always tap, don't spray. Whenever I'm playing competitive or in scrims and I go try hard, I always tap. I never go like this, I never spray, always tap. And you know, you see a little recoil being applied to when you tap, but that's natural, it happens, and it's supposed to happen because it's a game mechanic. But after a while, you'll get used to it, and you know, bada bing, bada bang, bang. Alright, that would conclude the tips and tricks part 2 video. I mean, there really aren't any more tips and tricks. Most of the other stuff is just common sense, you know? Well, most of this was common sense, but some people can't pick up on common sense as easily. But anyways, you know, I'm gonna be working on a couple of things with my buddy Splooshy from FanUp. We're gonna be working on some game review videos, trying to sound professional and stuff. So it's not like in here where I sound all crazy and talk a lot of bullshit and trash. I'm also hoping to do dual commentary with Zero Armada. Stay tuned for that. We should have that up shortly. Slowly getting there. And, you know, keep on poning. Make sure you order your Sandblasters over at sandblasterwtf.com. That's a made up site, by the way. I just said that just for the lols. Don't go there. There might be some gay porn site. Alright? Thank you. Peace. Salute your captain. Aye, mate.